Hey, Chris here, and here we are then on YouTube. It's kind of crazy when you think about it that a little over 12 months ago, Fleur and I recorded our very first episode of A Procurement Podcast, The Reform Rundown. Since then, we've got 24 episodes in the bank, spoken to some fantastic guests during that time. Those guests have come from across the public sector and actually, in some instances, from different professional disciplines too, ranging from housing, electronic platform providers, and even a futurist, plus everything in between. You know, on reflection, I think that's been one of the reasons behind the success of the podcast. The variety we've been able to bring the listeners, the different perspectives, the realism behind our approach, and hopefully a little bit of humour too. So where are we? First few days of post-go live of the Procurement Act. And I don't know about you guys, but it feels a little bit like after the Lord Mayor's show. The public sector are of course now putting into practice the theory that has been developed over the last 4 years. And I am sure they will do an incredible job in doing that and embracing many of the opportunities we've discussed during our episodes to date. I think it's because of that transitional period where we are now that Fleur and I have looked to move on to yet another platform. And that platform being right here on YouTube. Fleur and I say this a lot, but over the last 12 months, we've had some fantastic support from the procurement community. And I don't mean just from within the public sector. That's the great thing about procurement, right? It covers all sectors and industries, and there's so much to discuss and information to share because of that. YouTube is, of course, a little bit of uncharted territory for us. As was starting the podcast a little over 12 months ago. But Fleur and I are keen to offer something a little different over and above the podcast, which will continue for sure. Fleur and I often joke that we fell into procurement as a profession, as most people do. But I think it comes across loud and clear that both of us are incredibly passionate about procurement. And the Procurement Act is just one element of so much more that is within the DNA of a procurement professional. Absolutely, there are going to be PPNs, case law, best practice, and we'll continue to cover that, particularly during these formative periods. Fleur and I want to use YouTube, now our fourth home, as a forum to discuss all things from the world of procurement. News features, trends, and also look to bring in guests from across the profession and beyond. Another thing me and Fleur are keen to do is share some of our experience too. I personally have been very fortunate in my career to date in that people have been very good to me, particularly in the early stages of my career. People invested time in me, and I think, it'd be good to use this platform to share our own respective journeys with you, and hopefully, as part of that, impart some of our knowledge and experience. So yeah, it's a natural progressive step for us. I'll wrap up now with a shout out to my co-host Fleur. As you know, she puts in so much time, particularly around the, shall we say, the creative elements of the podcast series itself. Both her knowledge and her capabilities to fleurify things are second to none. And I'd like to think that she's learnt as much from me as I have her. She's a joy to work with on the podcasts and the content that we create. I'm very much looking forward to continuing the journey with her, and in particular looking to offer something a little different as part of this YouTube channel. So I guess that's it really. look out for more in terms of content. And yeah, looking forward to you guys being part of the next steps on this journey. We'll see you soon.